chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.
Hello and welcome to season 4. We've got a special guest in episode 2. We've got even more special guests in episode 1, you could say. Clive, your debut on Gull'S Eye View.
Sam, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. I've dreamt of this. Lovely to see you both. And we're going to have a chat about new players.
Yes, we are. Clive obviously writes for us, does some amazing articles. The best one for me was the mushroom management one about George Edwards. In the time when we need it, you did it perfectly. And Tom has joined us as well.
Good evening, guys. I've made the cut for season 4. Get in.
Yes, we've all been renewed contracts. Sadly, my offer fell through, as you lot were all saying that I'm going to be at Sky. But no, I turned them down. It's like David Brent when he turns them. Yeah, I turned them down. That was me. Right.
The only place to be, this.
Yeah,
the only place to be. What I would say for anybody who's watching this, we've got 500 subscribers now. We'd like lots of new ones. If you like this tonight, please subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe anyway, because I'm probably not going to be on every week. All right. So honestly, knock yourselves out. It's a great product.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Off you go, Sam.
Yeah, we've got positivity. Can I just say already? Bear in mind, we're waiting for it to render right now, but we have just recorded an incredible interview of Alex Rowe. We're going to be part 2, which will probably be released by the time you're watching this. And it was amazing. So we're on a buzz from that. Once I know it's all come out right, but you'll probably see me breathe after through the episode, and that's when you know. But we are here to talk about a fantastic new era. Also, we touched it in the end of season 3. And yeah, so if we'll start with some farewells, obviously. Now, when we did our traffic light system, whatever we want to call it, I think you're annoyed, Chris, when you call it that, but we obviously were a little bit, we wore our hearts on our sleeves. We're a little bit overexcited. There was a lot of players I could not feel I could say on a public, like a platform to say, no, I want to get rid of. A lot of them we have got rid of. If I was a football manager, yeah, I would probably have been a lot less right. As we've learned from Alex, you've got to be ruthless in this business. So farewells, where do you want to start? Asa Hall. Wow. Tom, thoughts as a player?
Yeah, well, great servant for the football club. Yeah, just captain fantastic, wasn't he, in the first couple of years? Sadly, injuries and, the last couple of years have hindered his progress slightly. But at the end of the day, he was a great role model, a great ambassador for the football club, a real leader on the football pitch. Goals. And brilliant goals. He scored some cracking goals for us. The one that sticks out in my mind is the Truro at home on Boxing Day.
Left foot.
What a finish that was!
Winner at Sutton. Penalty
the goal at Altrincham where it looked like he was gonna, we were gonna have a chance. We'll forget about the penalty he gave away at the end. But
I think that again kind of summed up Asa Hall. I just feel like he was an absolute. People use legend too easily, but he was like a legend of this era. But just at a time where the football club, apart from when we should have won at Ashton Gate that era, and of course we won the National League South, which is our first title ever. So he was part of success. But I just feel, especially the last few years, he was a great player, just not at the right time. But a bit like Lee Maxwell's last few years, you'll be remembered so fondly. But sadly, football doesn't really have many fairy tale endings. Of course, I'd like to see him be a part of the football club going forward. But I wish you so much luck towards the future.
Yeah.
Also, we'll read through the names. Also, we've got Austin Booth is under contract. Finley Crass, we know, has agreed new terms. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And we've offered contracts to Brad Ash, Dean Moxey, and Ollie Tomlinson. Bit surprised about Tomlinson, but it doesn't surprise me because of the Plymouth link with Wootton, and he was really good at the start of the season. And obviously, I'm happy with Dino and Brad Ash. Anything you want to say about those 3 that have been offered new terms?
I think Brad Ash was a no-brainer. He's got a habit of scoring goals in bad teams.
So that's what he does in a good one, hopefully.
with a bit of luck, he'll get a few more this year. But he's got work rate. He's not a guaranteed bread and butter finisher, but he does know where the goal is, and big centre forward alongside him. It's all good, I think. I personally wouldn't have re-signed Ollie Tomlinson. I think there must be better centre halves out there than that, but good luck. You got to back the manager's judgment at the moment.
If you can get more out of him, get him to mature and kind of I hate to say, I'll be stronger and all that, but just know how to use your body a bit more in those situations. You made really good progress, then it will work. But yeah, it's sort of where we are, Southwest player. we'll see. And then Tom, finally, we're talking about re-signing Krask. Do you know what? Even though we would put basically red because we thought his injury was worse than it probably appears to be. I said it on Twitter that I'm really happy because I thought when I saw him against Plymouth in the friendly, I know you can't just go off friendlies unless it's Ronald Hoof. Wow, what a friendly performance! But against West Brom those years back, but I thought there was a really technical player in there. I was a bit confused. I know he plays as a defender that day, but I saw him just on the ball, and I was almost more a creative sort of midfielder at times. I thought he was very limited to just being bullied in like a 4-back out in the left back by Johnson, and then had no chance to go forward, or a 3-5-2. You know, I'm really happy if he can stay fit. I think really happy to clean slate. I think he could be a really good player for us going forward.
Yeah, I think it's more a sensible signing. I think I said to my friends looking back on the last episode we did, I had him as red. I think we all had him as red, didn't we? And it was just the injury. It's just the injury concerns. But I guess again, if you look at the Gary Johnson tactics, play everyone in out of position. If you play, it's just playing the players to their strength. You play them in the right positions, work around them, and I think he'll be a good player. And at the end of the day, for me, it's in terms of wages. I mean, I'm guessing he's on a full-time contract. I don't know if it's if we are going hybrid or not, but I think it's a sensible, relatively cheapish option, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same with Tomlinson in a way. I probably, like you, Clive, I probably wouldn't have said Tomlinson would have been my choice to re-sign, but if he does accept the contract, I think again it's a nice cheap option to have.
I think Krask, the thing with injuries. Sorry, Sam. I think with injuries, it's different when you got injuries when you're in your 30s. I mean, this lad's 21.
Yeah.
He's also he is the most Torquay United 2024 footballer you can have, and he's been at Truro, he's been at Plymouth Parkway, he's Cornish. He ticks so many Watton boxes. It's not true. I can't remember seeing him much last year. He's a bit vanilla to me. He's like the Moody Blues, but let's give the lad a go. He's 21. Watton fancies him, so fair enough.
Yeah, I'm totally with it. And one thing I didn't bring up in the interview you're going to see in the next episode, but remember Nicholson said it about the togetherness of the squad. He said most of the players in that 07 to like 09 sort of teams were like the same age. They were all going through life at the same time, young families, all this kind of stuff. And I think it's quite important. You do get obviously an experience in the dressing room, you do get that. But I think it's also important to have a core of players who have come from a similar area, from same backgrounds. I would come from Exeter, Plymouth, all that. Haven't quite been good enough there, but had decent loan spells below or above. And they're all kind of that similar. They all get it. They all sort of get playing for a Southwest team. And if you look at the players that are coming in, there's a very similar profile in ages and kind of backgrounds. They've been really good until they've had an injury, which is always a bit of a worry. But as you say, Clive, when they're in their 20s, it's a bit different. So early 20s especially. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm actually, in hindsight, I'm willing to be quite happy about that one. Should we go through the departing list? And it's quite a lot bigger. Ethan Archer, surprised and maybe disappointed quite a lot of the fan base. All I will say is you never quite know the terms, if that makes sense. I'm not for me to talk about on a public platform at all. Not saying that was the case, but say if someone's needs a certain amount or was on a certain amount or kind of just went, no, I want to move back to a certain, especially at this level, I want to move back to a certain area. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's a lot less more than the manager rates him, the manager doesn't. Does that make sense? I feel like that's my opinion on it. It's a lot more than just, Wootton doesn't think he's a good player. I thought Ethan Archer was really good and he was my main to go. But we've got systems that no one at this level is ever going to be irreplaceable. So good luck to Ethan Archer. There's a lot of talent there, but fair enough. Bold.
It's raw talent, isn't it?
Raw talent, yeah.
Yeah.
He stood out towards the back end of last year, but any player with a bit of drive and a bit of ability would have stood out at that point.
I'm totally with you.
And he might see his future as being a bit better than National League South. And
he could also be that case as well.
Good luck to him. I would imagine there's been a conversation there. I'd be amazed if it's been just a straight no, we don't fancy you. As you say, Sam, there's probably been negotiations, and you can't get them all.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
Depends on what he's been offered, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd just like to say a big
I've
well
heard
done.
rumours that he was on quite a bit
Yeah,
for
for that
the
level
contract
with
he
her
was
to get him
on.
away. Can
Hmm.
I just point out an interruption to congratulate the recording has come out for part 2. For the rest of part 1, we're all going to breathe and be more laid back. Great. So, anyway, back to the list. Oh, I'm buzzing now. It's way too excited to be reading about departing players. Right. Lewis Collins, we covered it on the last one. Gutting from his point of view. Because I thought there was one other player. We covered it so much last season, but one other player didn't work last season for many reasons we don't know. It's not our place to know. But good luck in the future because it looks like he is moving away from football. But he seemed a genuine bloke. He seemed
Yes.
genuine from what you can work out.
Hope to see him back. Hope to see him
Yeah.
back in the
I
sport at
hope
some
to see him
point.
back in the sort of the sport. I hope to see him happily thriving because it just looked like, and I felt so sorry for him at Taunton. You know, he comes on, can cast it off, and you could see it in him. Maybe at that point he sat on the bench and went, "Yeah, I think this is life telling me to try something new for a little bit." Because you forget these are young lads who are trying to make a living, and it's very difficult to make a living at this level.
Is there a one Collins rule in this league? You only allowed one in the squad?
That is true. Right, Kevin Dawson, self-explanatory, really. Incredible player, but with sadly a horrific injury he suffered. For was it the muscle detached or something detached from somewhere?
Yeah, it was very nasty.
Very nasty. And yeah, obviously come back and got injured. But when he did play, wow, you could see how well he was and had such a good career before this. Nothing really to add to that, have we?
He's gone to Gloucester, hasn't he, on that plastic pitch? So be interested to see how that works out for him.
Interesting. Good luck. Good luck, what I will say. Asa, we've covered. Mark Halstead, Clive, what are your thoughts or anyone?
Yeah, good example of if you think it should be orange, it's probably a red.
Yeah.
Which I've pinched that from Alex Rowe.
Yeah, that's a
spoiler.
Spoiler
yes.
for the next one. Yeah,
through the time continuum here, aren't we? I think I don't think he was a great goalkeeper, and his confidence was probably shot after his experience at Torquay.
Yeah,
it wasn't all bad. He did have some
fair
good
play
games.
to his character. Fair play to his character coming back in that second season, but still, even then, I want a commanding goalkeeper, and I thought he was going to be one of the best in the South last season, like Joe Day was. But he just wasn't. He really struggled last season again, I thought. Apart from the first few months, he really struggled. So good luck to him. But I imagine he was on a first team wage.
Yeah.
And also we know who we signed in his place. We'll move on to that later. But yeah, I think we all feel the same on that one, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but good luck. Thanks for your time as well. No effort of trying. No lack of effort of trying. That was it. That's what I meant to say. Aaron Jarvis. Yeah, we all saw that one coming, didn't we?
Yeah.
Life moves on though. Life moves on. Incredible player. But at the end of the day, he only scored a few non-penalty goals because of injuries. People have their different opinions on it. I love the guy mainly because he was so good for a Football Manager. But I just loved him for that first season. One of my favourite strikers I've seen in a Torquay shirt. So all action. He was fast on the ball. He could win in the air. He was strong. He knew how to win a penalty. He knew how to win fouls. Great finisher. Hit it cleanly. I'm really gutted last season. It just didn't work. And I do think if he stays fit, if that move to Cheltenham as rumoured is right, I think he'll do all right. I think he is League Two standard. He can be.
I agree.
I think it's one of those where if he does go to Cheltenham, I say he would probably benefit from a club that's a little bit more sustainable, not in free fall, not in total decline. Obviously, he came from Scunthorpe then to us.
Yeah.
If he does go to Cheltenham, hope it all works out for him. Hope he does stay fit. Be interested to see how he progresses. He's definitely a player I would have liked to have seen stay, but again, he's probably on such one of the big earners at the club.
And he wanted to. It was very much the case of I guess I'll stay. I can hopefully score 30. We can win a title, and I'll be off or be back again. But it didn't happen, and that's football.
Another one. You'll just say
last year. I think getting him last summer, I think was a real coup, to be honest.
To keep him from that Eastleigh move, whatever it was. Yeah,
I don't think he'll be prolific, but I think he's probably a Football League centre forward. So good, and we can't afford him. Good luck to him.
Good luck to him.
I think we'll all say good luck to him and all the best.
Yeah, definitely, 100% from our corner. Tom Lapsley. Oh, that's a sad one.
Very sad.
If obviously we had the rumours and it's true. He's out for he said until 2025. Some people say it's 12 months, just from an innocent falling over. when he took, I guess it was from when he took that shot in the Hampton game, Havant game, did that last time. And yeah, that could be not in, some say it was career ending, but hopefully it won't be. But that's sometimes I think not blaming Lapslie for it itself, but a bit like almost like I remember what he said about Wilshere, because he was so all action all the time, because he'd kind of fall awkwardly and he'd always be like falling on his knee and he'd have like 3 or 4 breaks a game. I almost feel like that's kind of maybe slowed his career down and why he's been so injury prone, because I was thinking when we were talking about in episode 2, like how football's moved on, but like 10 years ago, Tom Lapsley would have been, he would have been so many like star of National League and League Two teams, and with his kind of style. But it's really sad. He gave so much, and he was a very good ambassador for the club as well. Little things like apparently he used to give lifts to the raffle lady home, and just little things like that. And I met him. I don't know if I brought it up, but I met him at the sponsors' day last, and he didn't just talk to me because he had to, but he was such a nice bloke to speak to, and I had an amazing chat to him for about an hour. So, yeah, all the best, Tom Latsy. I hope you recover well. And yeah, because these are families at the end of the day, these are incomes. I know his family moved down, that kind of stuff, and this is what it's what they're dealing with. It's a gamble, isn't it? But
yeah,
I hope that all works out for Tom Laps in the future. But again, all these players, the last sort of 5 we talked about, all these players, I'd imagine, were on a very decent wage that we've already started to put out elsewhere. So this is football, and when you've got a new squad, we can open it. Right, Reece Lovett. A few people thought he was going to stay as a number 2 again, and if I'm honest, I'm really happy he's gone. Mainly for him, at his age, at any age really. But I don't want him to fall into a trap. I know he played quite a few games with Billy Ricky. Go out and play games now, even if it's like the level or level below. Go out and be a number 1 for the next 3 or 4 years, wherever you are, because you've earned it a couple of years as a professional keeper. But he's a keeper that reeks of needing games. I think he's got good ability, but it's confidence and just that lack of game knowledge. He's always second doubting himself, and that's why just go out and play games at any level. Go out and play games. That is my thing.
Yeah, I think a drop down to maybe the Southern Premier would probably benefit him the most,
or an equivalent elsewhere. Yeah,
I would have had him. I think I would have had him as a number 2 again. Probably wouldn't have been on a high wage. The games that I did recall him playing, that I saw, he did in the main a good job.
But
yeah, I can see. I know he had some games where he wasn't particularly great.
I mean that game on BT.
Oh yeah, but at the end of the day, I think a drop down maybe to the Southern League or that level, step 3, will probably be beneficial for him. Establish himself as a number 1 at that level, and then who knows, maybe in a couple of years he'll be able to climb the leagues again. But
I get uncomfortable when people say, number 2. I think, as we'll find out in the next episode, Bevan and Poke and those days, number 2 is crucial. Your number 2 has got to be pushing the number 1 all the time. I'm not saying like McDonald and Coughlin, where they're like swapping over all the time and they didn't get the best out of each other. But you could end up with 5 months with a number 2 keeper. Some will say, you can get an emergency loan in. But what I'm saying is it's very crucial. I like to use that number 2. And I like to think, he can be a good option in cups and that. Anything to add, Clive?
Yeah. I'm not sure about that at our level. I think realistically, I think you pay for a decent goalie, and if he does happen to get injured, you just have to go from there. Nobody's with massive respect, because anybody who gets paid to play football is way better than any of us or most people we know. But in 20 years' time, nobody's going to remember Reece Lovett.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's why you need to go out and play games and play for a club that you will be, because no one remembers the number 2 keeper who doesn't play much. So I do agree. So yeah, I think that's a good thing mutually, and good luck in the future. Ross Marshall, cool. Right, Dan Martin. Dan Martin is next. Gussing with his injury, really, because I thought he was so promising at the start.
Shame. Quick.
Shame.
Good wing back, if you like.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced he could defend, but we never saw the best of him, did we? The injuries and the illness killed him. It's a shame.
Yeah, I thought it was starting to progress, where it was like that stage, as you say, right, is he going to be a modern day fullback, wing back, where he's good going forward, but sometimes isn't great in the tackle? Because it started to help, because he was playing left back, and then Moxie was going into centre back for a brief period, and it was really working. But yeah, it's disappointing. And long COVID, if that is like I've got in the family, and it is horrendous. That I'm shocked he even got near the level to being a professional footballer as well. Did have knee surgery and all that as well. So good luck whatever you do, Dan Martin. in the future. It definitely wasn't the one that was trying, but you can tell it's sad when he come back. He kind of lost that bit of swagger, and he was almost like second doubting himself on the ball. And his big strength was his left foot and how good he was on the ball, and he couldn't really do that in the end. So
because he came in, didn't he, the second half of the season, and he had a really good game. I'm trying to think where it was now. I think it was after the Hereford game, and he had a really good game, and then he just never reached them levels again.
yeah, it's a big shame. Maybe his bodies couldn't do it anymore. I don't know. Brett McGavin. Oh, that's an interesting one, wasn't it? Very
No loss.
interesting one.
It's fine. No loss.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We were very much like keeping it such a Marmite decision, because when you take all the goals away, absolutely no loss, because of the amount of goals we conceded, because of him not tracking back, the yellow cards he got last
He
season.
finished 18th.
Yeah, that's the thing. The amount of yellow cards he got, and you don't get yellow cards for some being tactical. It's just been too like slow or not reading the game properly a lot of the time, and just things like that. I just think, yeah, go forward, good luck to him. I'm so interested. I never really care when a player leaves Torquay and I track their career, apart from it comes up and we're like 4-0 down. It's like, oh, Lemon Ivan scored for them. Oh, Little scored for them. But I'll be very, very, very interested to see how it works at Yeovil and the influence behind that signing. Is all I will say.
I think it's fair to say I was never.
It was very interesting because he likes runners, Cooper, and whether it's just a unique player to get in the system, I don't know, to put the runners around, and it could work. It could really work. It could really work. I'm not ruling it out, but yeah, if he just interesting.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say I've been pretty consistent on my thoughts about McGavin. I've never really understood the hype around him this season. Granted, he scored some fantastic goals for us. But even his interview at Yeovil, he admits he was lucky that a few went into the back of the net. Again, good luck to him. I hope he does prove me right. It wouldn't be the first time that a player's left Torquay and then done great things elsewhere. Personally, I just recall, the relegation season, the moments where he'd give the ball away and you just attempt to see him chase the ball down. It's just,
you don't need that.
He's just too immobile for me. And I know in the past you'll have players who've been like that and they've been able to work around him, and maybe at Yeovil they will. But personally, if they've signed him just because of the
never made sense, because as soon as the team pressed that, like Edakobi did at Maidstone, and even Cooper did with Yeovil, as soon as the team pressed that, we were done. Should have always been playing further with like Lapsey behind him. I never understood that deep. I know it's a deep line playmaker to spray the ball, but as soon as they took McGavin out of the game, there was such a huge gap between the midfield and defence. But anyway, that's last season's anger. We can leave there now.
Good luck to him.
I feel quite sorry for McGavin, because there's so much in there that's the makings of a good player. And if he had the time and space, he would be able to be a quarterback. He would spray passes. Obviously, he scores bangers. But trouble is,
20 years ago, he could have had a better career, I would say.
You need to be able to run, and I'm not sure physically that he's built for it. I don't think he's lazy. I don't think there's any problem with his attitude. Unfortunately, he's got some brilliant attributes, but physically, it's just not there. And I think that's where he fell.
There won't be many teams at National League level next season that will give him so much time and space like half the teams at this level did. I'll always be thankful for the fact that he only scored 9 goals and I didn't have to give Dom a pint for free. So thanks, Brett. Thanks for that, mate.
Even though I reckon that shot he hit on the last of the season, it bounced at the bar. Oh,
no
it
chance.
was close.
It was...
Goal and technology coming different. But there we are. So thank you, Brett McGann, for his services, though. And some of your goals are absolutely memorable. But yeah, good luck in the future, I guess. Right, Dwayne, good luck in the future. He's gone back to Dartford. Nice move for him. He came here, he tried. It's just his best days, from my point of view, behind him. I was disappointed with a lot of that. He had a chance to be a really cult hero last season, and there was just a few too many sitters for that. He did miss a couple of sitters, sadly. Yeah. If you put them in, no one would have cared about the rest of it. And he did come on, he was, physical, but yeah, no, it was never easy.
Clive, all I'll say, Clive, Hereford away. That's all I'll say about Dwayne for reaction from the most. Oh my God, the most Torquay United debut you could ever expect.
I'll see your Hereford away, and I'll raise you with Truro away, where the guy got booked after about 5 minutes and had to be taken off to avoid being sent off. And my God, we've gone from being something and nothing to absolutely dominating the game.
That was a very good point, and that's where he almost let himself down a bit. That game,
big target man, not fully fit. Probably not good enough. Well, certainly not good enough for National League. good luck. Off you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, good luck. He's great lads, but
Mm.
yeah, good luck for Dartford. Hope it all works well there. Yeah, I hope it is Dartford. I'm not just making it up to make myself look stupid.
No,
Jack
it definitely is.
Stobbs, really disappointing season last season. Good luck in the future, but because not for the want of trying at all. But it's just the end product wasn't there. I thought he was going to be one of the stand-up players like Collins. It just didn't happen. It happened in stages. But it's just that inconsistency because sometimes you put a ball in and you'd be like, wow, that's what I thought you were going to do. And then, but towards near the end of the season, something just a bit of spark went in him. It was a bit weird.
Maybe that's why he was playing at our level, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it did feel like there was a Football League player in there but there's just no consistency of it. Does that make sense?
I like Stobbs. I thought he was going to be a really good player for us, but like you said, Sam, he didn't perform enough.
He just didn't deliver.
His crossing into the box in general was so poor and frustrating.
You can get away with not being a winger who's really quick and going to take on everyone all the time by being brilliant at crossing. Mark Albrighton for Leicester the last 10 years, right? Hard-working player, put amazing crosses in, and you don't need to be like the Mahrez. But unfortunately, that part of this game just didn't really happen. And
I only saw it once where he showed his true pace. I think it was the Hampton home game where he was through on goal and he just completely outpaced their
yeah, he had it in
back.
him. But yeah,
that's the Jack Stobbs I wanted to see more of, and we just didn't see enough of it.
Maybe it was a confidence thing. Maybe it was a confidence thing. And half the time, because of the awful system that Johnson put in place, he was tracking back. And when you're just losing that momentum, that's taking it out of the energy and the momentum and fresh thinking to go forward. I know you're meant to track back, but it's the way the system wasn't built properly. He was getting frustrated, and then by the time he got the ball, there's nothing on. I'll ping the ball to Jarvis, who's going to lose it anyway, because there's never any triangles. So all these players really failed because of what happened above. But there we are.
I think wingers are confidence players always as well, aren't they? I think you put Jack Stobbs in a good team, he could fly.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Yeah.
But there we are. But when you really needed him, he didn't come out with it, really. But you need a player that's going to sort of step above, and he didn't. That's a shame. Callum Thomas, I was surprised because every time I've seen him, he looked like an absolute rock, I thought. But that, I'm happy to give, Wootton the benefit of the doubt if you've got players lined up. I don't know financially with the budget if we can afford to have a player that maybe is a few years away, so that's fine. I'm glad he's got to move to a great club like Tiverton. So good luck, and maybe we might get him back there one day. But I'm all for, from his point of view, get out and play football. So I'm all for it from his point of view, honestly. So yeah, but
it's the Olaf Cazella, Ashley Yeoman thing again, and
you don't want to stay for and be the promising lad forever.
It's not quite good enough at the moment. Can you put the time into? And we did put the time into both of them, and it didn't actually work.
Yeah.
He's still got it all in front of him, I think.
So
who knows, really?
But I think he's going to do really well in football, especially at this level. Right, lone players, obviously Jenkins Davies. Will there be scopes getting back? Because I know obviously Plymouth Link and Jude Boyd, he has been released, but sure he's going to get a Football League move or a very good National League move. But what a player Jude Boyd is! Wow. And Jenkins Davies, I would take him back. I know he didn't quite deliver in the way we thought we were going to, but there was some really big moments where I thought, yeah, you've got something about you. You're not just a youngster here who's got a few nice touches. I remember the Devon Day, obviously, was against Hampton, and also the Plymouth fans were there, so he was really keen as well. But just like the tackles he was putting in, it's very all action. Just a little bit more getting into games and taking it by the scruff of the neck, I'd hoped for. That's my one criticism in, but he's very young. Had a bad injury as well, which from what people say, was maybe not best, maybe rushed or something didn't seem quite right with that injury. But yeah, he's probably learned a lot, and I feel like he's a lad who will learn and go forward in his career. So best of luck there. So those are the players going out. Now, going in. So, yeah, we've got Clive. Clive has done, bless him, a great job. He's got notes like he's like all the commentators. He's like Mossy today.
I've seen Guy Mowbray do this. I've got the name of the player. I've got how old they are. I've got their position, former clubs,
coloured pens as well,
and I've also got in red on my chart. I mean, put it up on social media, Sam. I've also got the venue of their signing video.
Wow.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start with eating chips on Torquay Harbourside?
Yes, go for it.
Jay Falston.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you lead this bit, Clive. But yes, we'll speak. You lead it, and then we'll speak our bits if you want. But
all right, mate. Well, he's a Welsh youngster, isn't he? Started in Newport, gone out on loan to some non-league clubs. He was at Taunton, I believe, last year.
Yeah.
When they had financial issues, he took the chance to go to Yeovil on loan and apparently did very well there.
Yeah, no, I've heard good stuff as well.
The
from
feedback from Yeovil is don't play him at right back, but why would you play a left-footed player at right back? Could be a prospect, I think.
I'm really happy. That was the first signing, and we'd heard wind of it for a little bit, obviously. But I was absolutely delighted with the profile signing going forward, because I remember him. He's a good player. That's what player I want. No, sort of 23, 24, isn't it? It's 24. Can't quite remember. You did probably say it. And just played a lot of football already. Still got scope to grow, but also isn't really inexperienced and going to be found out, I feel. So I think that's an excellent signing. Tom?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add other than what you've just said, Sam.
I will just say, when we say
Sheridan,
excellent signings, we're almost like guessing, aren't we? Because we don't actually know. But from it appears to be an excellent signing.
But Sheridan, she rates him quite highly. So
yeah,
I trust her word, and yeah, hopefully he'll do well for us, as all of them will. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it seems to me like it's kind of what we wanted last season, was to sign good quality players who have played at this level and have done well at this level. Yeah. I think that's kind of what we're gearing for in the main. So
not players who haven't really done it and coming down, maybe thinking they're a bit too good, or maybe not used to it. Or
he's been a part of a National League South winning side last season.
He's a winner. So he's not got relegated.
He's a winner.
He's a winner. We need winning
mentalities. Really important. That's really important.
People don't realise how important it is. I know you can get the odd good relegated player, but if you're getting loads and they're not in the right headspace afterwards, it's not just about that, it's just getting winners, people that are used to getting over the line. So
Lee Mansell got relegated loads of times.
Yeah, but
maybe he's the exception that proves the rule, eh?
Exactly, yeah. But unless they have something in their character, you need people coming with momentum. So right, signing 2.
Next cab off the rank. Finlay Krask was announced next, but the third one, actually, I really want this to work, because I think we've signed ourselves an Asa Hall replacement. We've got Oscar Threlkeld.
I couldn't believe it when I saw
Plymouth
that
Plymouth fans like him. He played a lot of games for Plymouth. He also played at Salford. If you happen to watch the class of '92, there is footage of him hitting a really good through ball that leads to a goal. Can play centre half as well, which
right back
46 games. 46 games, you need that sort of player. He's been injured quite a bit the last year or two. He's 30. It's possibly a bit of a gamble, actually.
And I think he wants to move back to the Southwest, from what I've heard. He wants to move back to the Southwest because I think his family settled well at Plymouth. That's the assumption. And then that does show all the people saying, oh, you can't get players settled in the Southwest. Well, a lot of them will get attached to it. So make the most of that. But when I saw that name, I was like, what? Like, we had none of it before. And it was just like, how on earth have we done that?
He's never played non-league. He's always been in the Football League, hasn't he? He's never played National League, let alone National League South level.
I understand it's a bit of a gamble, but for me, it's a gamble.
Would you say that's a marquee signing?
Yes, Gary Johnson. That is a marquee signing.
It's as close as we're going to get this summer, I think.
Yeah.
It's certainly a good size tent, isn't it?
But there is a risk, isn't there? I think, again, that is what Sam just said about his injury record. He didn't play a lot last season, did he?
If they train it, if they manage it properly, and you get the right sports scientists, and you get that, goes a hell of a lot of way. If there's discipline in there, not saying last season, but something must have been going wrong last few years under Johnson. So, yeah.
I think we've got high hopes for Oscar. Yeah. Move on to the next one. We got a goalie, James Hammond. Now, a lot of Torquay fans follow or probably remember players a lot better than I do. I couldn't remember that he'd been here before, but apparently he played one game for us and we won.
He was in lockdown, and then he come on, not warmed up, because Sean McDonald decided to run out and take someone out and get sent.
Solihull away, wasn't it?
He's from Guernsey as well. Yes. Matt Letizia is from Guernsey.
There we go.
I'm going to leave that there. You don't need to say anything else, do you? I think he... Don't know whether he's vaccinated or not. Probably doesn't matter now. It could be a good age, I think. 28. Good age for a keeper.
You know what it is? And all jokes aside, I'm so excited for this signing, actually. I think there's always a bit of a worry of keeper. I really am, because keeper's like my position I love the most. So I'm really hypercritical, but when it's the right keeper, I will also be their biggest fan. But obviously, yeah, you don't want him to be known as a keeper that played one game and that was it, because you think, oh, what was that? But you're never going to be judged on 80 minutes. But a keeper has played 5 seasons of first team football and has been very popular with Churro. Playing, what did I say about Reece Lovett, right? And even Halstead, he was always a number 2.
Yeah.
You played so many games now. You're going to make mistakes in that time. Keepers make mistakes. But you've played so many games and also playing for the manager that understands what you are as a keeper, what you want. I hope he's commanding. But I've seen some of these like athletic saves, but just played so many games as a keeper, you're going to be at some sort of good level, in my opinion, and that is crucial. So he's coming on a lot of confidence. Maybe before he went to Truro, what was it? He'd been at Exeter, played a bit, been in and out of the squad. I can't quite remember what happened before that. And then, but I reckon the keeper he was, even though we're not judging him at 10 minutes, is completely different. Now he's played all that games. He's coming in as a number 1 who's probably had interest in him. So
I think the other thing I'd say about him, actually, if you see the sign-in video, he never looked like dropping that fish. Very safe pair of
Was that the
hands.
first take though?
he said
Of
on
course
the
it
report,
was. What are you trying to say? Of course it was.
I think he's the signing we were all expecting. I think that's the one
Yeah,
with the least surprise attachment. We all knew that was going to happen. No, he's again, he's played a lot of games at this level. He won promotion, didn't he, with Truro into this division a couple of years ago. So again, another one with a winning mentality, and he seems to be quite highly regarded. So welcome aboard.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, I'm delighted. I am truly delighted with that. I'm really excited to see how it goes. I just felt it needed fresh blood in that position.
Yeah. Could be all the fun of the fair with this next lad, I think. Jaden Crosby. Now then, that could be an inspired signing. That could be a Jamie Vardy signing. Or he might play half a dozen games and never be seen again. Because, of course, none of these lads have kicked a ball for us yet. And he's certainly never kicked a ball in National League South. But
there's something about him. There's something about
goals. Sorry. So 37 goals in 48 games.
You don't do that by being bad at any level.
I know it's for Mangotsfield, but yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about it.
He scored like half the total goals they scored that season.
Yeah.
There's just something about him. I love reading personalities and that. I'm not saying just because he didn't get scared on like a fairground ride in the video, a little bit of that. But it's just something, if you look at it, so he looks so concentrated, and a lot of these lads do. They just look concentrated and ready. Like, I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not like this kid who's played a few steps below and I'm playing here. I mean, this is me. I'm going to be Torquay striker next season. It's just something about these lads. And I feel like Wootton, hearing how emotionally intelligent he is, and so talking about on a few of his interviews he's done already, I just feel like Wootton will look at that character and get characters in ready. And I feel like it's going to be a success. He might take a few games to get ready, but I feel like it's going to be a success, that one. Could be an asset for the club as well.
For God's sake, don't repeat that Jamie Vardy line. That's putting way too much pressure on the lad. But honestly, coming from a very low level, but
get players in confidence.
He'll have fire in his belly.
Yeah.
He's big, quick. I think he might have it all. Yeah.
Wow, what a signing.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, it might be. Who have we got now? Sam Dreyer. Sam Dreyer, son of John, another former Torquay player. I remember John played for Oxford for a number of years, obviously decent. Sam is 20.
Mm-hmm.
We've pinched him from Hampton, Tom, haven't we?
Yeah, well, he was on loan from Peterborough to Hampton, and then went back at the end of the season.
Player.
Yeah. From what I can gather from my Hampton supporting friends, he's strong, confident. He's good on the ball. All the fundamentals that you'd want in a footballer, apparently. So I'm excited for this one. He seems to be quite well regarded, and one of those that definitely has the potential to be Football League in the near future. Yeah, I remember. I was trying to think when it was announced. I was like, I recognize that name from somewhere, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But
and he told the mascot to F off in the video as well.
Instant cult hero, isn't he? Then yeah.
So I love that. What a guy! I'm so excited, lads. I am so excited for these players. I can't hold it back. I know we all said this. One back 2 years ago, we said this when all like the era of McGavins and Hansons were coming in. But it is generally more buzzing. I am so excited about Talking Like Football Club. I can't deny it. It might go wrong, but there's something about it. But yeah, go on, Clive. Doing a great job.
Well, next one then. With apologies perhaps for the pronunciation here, we have Lirak Hassani.
Well done.
First sighted on the big wheel, of course.
I can't do that big wheel. He's beaten me already. I did it once on my eyes ghost the whole time. Don't like ice.
I think the thing about big wheels is if you go on the one in Torquay, you're likely to see Torquay. Dawlish Warren, very similar vibe. Yeah, you've seen one, you've seen them all. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're digressing. This lad is from South Yorkshire and played in the league, I think, for Doncaster age 16, which might tell you something about what they thought of him.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Donny Rovers last few years have been a decent football club. Made his way up to the northeast, Gateshead and South Shields, I think the two most recent clubs. He's a midfielder. I honestly couldn't tell you what sort of midfielder he is, but
I would guess more of a creative one from what I've kind of put together.
He looked to me, and this is a massive stereotype, and I'm judging a book by its cover, but he looked to me like he might be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Perhaps nasty is the word I'm looking for. I just thought he had a look about him like I probably wouldn't want to come the wrong side of him in a midfield tussle.
And I love that.
His heritage is the sort that you might think there's a little bit of fight there because his mum and dad, I believe, were refugees from Kosovo.
Wow.
As were Dua Lipa's, I'm told. My son has advised me that Kosovo has been the source of great footballers and fantastic singers. It's another one.
I love stories.
Might have a bit of something about him, I think.
You've got something about him. If we can just get it in the right place, go, right, it hasn't quite worked here. This all these players, it's been like, right, you've done well here. It hasn't quite well worked here. That's English. Bring it back down here and we're going to do it properly. You know, fresh start. I love that. Those are the players I want to see. Not just ones who are on the way back down. I have a couple of them, but you know, they've had their highs on the way back down. We're here, we're ready. Get that mentality around the whole of the squad. It's going to be big gamble to go and get them all ready within like the start of the season. But when you start picking that up as the season goes on, I think it'll be a slow burner this season. But yeah, exciting. I love players like that. I love stories like that. Good research, Clive.
It's way too professional for us.
Yeah.
Still on probation, mate, aren't I? Do you want to do the last one? So we've got one Collins out and one Collins in.
Yeah.
Irishman, Roddy Collins from a sporting family. Is he going to be the new Keating or is he going to be the new Dawson? Who knows?
There's an injury record though, isn't there? I believe.
He's a midfielder. He's had issues with injuries. He's clearly experienced. He's 29.
29.
He's 29. So clearly, he's experienced.
Yeah. No.
That's all I've got to say about him because I don't know the guy from Adam, obviously.
Yeah, no, this is a thing, isn't it? It really is at this. Yeah. But I like those players. They could literally turn up and it's a good thing as well. We could say, you know, a lot of clubs won't know their strengths when we play them. So I do like it. You do need those players who are a bit of a gamble. Now, I know it's gamble with his ACL, but actually that makes feel better. He is 29. If I'm honest, I've been enjoying the video so much, and I had quite a hectic week. We've almost started to lose track of it, of which ones. But 29, I'm glad there was a bit of experience in there. Then that makes me feel better.
Paint and Pier.
Paint and Pier, that was the one.
Warlock on Watton, Princess Pier.
We do research.
Roddy Collins, Paint and Pier.
Yeah, no, and I can't say Will Hancock's. There's we'll watch this space because we might be able to hear more of him at some point. But wow, what a job him and his Cutley Productions have done on all of this, and I love it already. It's forward-thinking kind of attitude from like Westcott's consortium and all that. And this is what we need to do going forward. Youth is the way forward on the pitch and off
those clips.
And the best thing is there's so much more to come. Hopefully next week we'll get some more.
So exciting being a Torquay fan again, honestly.
Did we mention Moxie in any capacity in this video?
Don't think I did say we've been re-offered. I said we've been re-offered. I'm delighted with that. I hope he does stay. Love Dino.
I'm pleased.
He played a lot of games still. It wasn't that he was injured.
Yeah, he did. He did. Forgive me for what I'm about to say. I wouldn't have kept Dean Moxie, but I'm delighted he's still here. Fantastic. Really good. You know, old head, bit of experience, and he won't have to carry the back four surely this season. So it's good. I'm pleased.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, I think you need that experience.
You do.
Yeah,
And he is the
again,
ultimate Southwest footballing legends. If all those Southwest players, all just young players in general, to look what this man has done with his ability, how he's gone up the ladder, stayed loyal to his club, played in the Premier League, you know, been part of that Palace team that got to the Premier League. Incredible story. Amazing Amazon Prime documentary on that. And then to come back down, but then still go back to a boyhood club, hero there, then go to your boyhood club's rivals. I know we're not quite Millwall, West Ham kind of sort of rivals, but still rivalry. And not just be liked, but to be so loved. And it meant so much to him getting that player of season at the age he is as well. And his mind is still sharper than anyone on the pitches. I know playing that amount of professional.
So he's still got his marbles, definitely.
Yeah, like the way he reads the game, just because he's obviously you do age, but he's never out of shape. He's never out of sorts, especially in the right thing. Centre back, especially.
It's like we discussed in the last video. It was like if you had the choice between Asa or Dino, who would you have? And I think the consensus is more
Dino
I'd
played
have
more
Dino
games as well. I think it's because of the fact that I like to look at the stats. I feel like is that the most games he's played for us in a season since he's been here?
Feels like it.
Feels like it. Yeah, it did feel like it. But Dino, what a guy. But there we are. I think that'll round us up. And what's been, we've got a double header coming with Alex Rowe next, depending on which way you clicked it. But if you watch 2 before 1, that's just a bit. But then I do also understand. But in this bit, Clive was basically, he was basically our John Motson or whatever you want to talk about it. So there we go.
Well, it's been a joy to do this, lads. I've really enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice. We're always welcome, talking to people in to keep us fresh. But it's been great. And me and Clive have filmed something. We won't say it is, but we were filming by the time, I don't know when it's coming out, but we have filmed something that we were invited to do something at Plainmoor last week. So you'll see that soon. Not for Talkie Talk as such, but that was an exciting, fun experience. So we're getting everywhere now. Agent Dom
just another step closer to world domination, Swanee.
Yeah, once Dom Roman is your agent, Clive, as it now is, he gets you in places, all right? So
yeah. I'm an old man in a hurry, Sam. Yeah. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
Go.
This has been a lot better than watching. This has been a lot better than watching England and the leaders debate.
I thought you were going to say it's a lot better than Chris and Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the score, by the way?
Still 1-0 to Iceland.
Oh my!
Coming home, lads.
76 minutes.
Who cares? It's a friendly, and Torquay are winning. Well, they'll be winning something next year. Winning our hearts. They've won our hearts.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
So keep up all the great work. I know there's a lot of work and so much work to repair the club on and off the pitch. Let's not forget that. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's watched this. Thank you to everyone who's involved in rebuilding our football club. And thank you to you two. And then enjoy this. And now enjoy a very special interview with Alex Rowe. Thank you for watching.
Here's Hargreaves, the chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. He stays onside. Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.